Then I want to mention Call Me by Carly Pearce.
For a good time, call me. Whatever you want, that's
I really don't know what to do with Carly Pearce because I really liked her first mainstream single, Every Little Thing. I thought that was stark and just beautiful. And I had read all about her background, being out from Dollywood. I know she has much more traditional taste, and yet her output of singles has been really, really poppy lately. Like on the poppier end of the country spectrum, it feels like. And this song feels like kind of one of those misguided little big town 70s pop kind of songs. I don't like it. I don't think it's very memorable. I don't think it shows off her voice very well. I love how she sounds on I Hope You're Happy Now with Lee Brice right now. And like I said, I love Every Little Thing, but this kind of vibe is not clicking for me. Then we've got the new one from Sam Hunt called Sinning With You.
I never felt like I was sinning with you. Always felt like
So Sam Hunt was supposed to release this a while ago, but it was going to come out the day that his DUI arrest went public, and that just wouldn't have looked good to have a song about sin the same day as you are all over the news for a DUI arrest. But it's out now, and the first thing to say, as is probably the first thing to say about all Sam Hunt songs, is just, why are you doing this in country music? You know, it's the same kind of R&B, Drake-ish vibe, but whatever. It's in country music. I'll talk about it here. Sinning With You is a song about premarital sex. It is about being raised in a religious tradition, but also having sex, and Sam Hunt is sort of reflecting upon that. It's fairly serious as subject matter. He says he was raised in a small town, and he mentions the pew and praising Yeshua, which, yeah, it's kind of cool to hear Yeshua, like one of the biblical names for God, in a country song. That was interesting. And he was having sex with this girl, and I never felt like I was sinning with you, he says. He didn't feel any guilt in the morning. He felt like he could talk to God in the morning, and it wasn't sinning with you. It's not the best theological argument. It kind of is just this humanist perspective that, you know, if it was wrong, why did it feel so right? That's what he says in the song, and that's his basic argument.
if it's so wrong, why did it feel so right?
And it's one of those songs that it sort of begs the question, like, if you didn't feel bad about it, why are you putting out like a really serious song about it? It feels kind of like a justification, almost like how Taylor Swift said in Shake It Off, like, I don't care what people say about me, and I always shake it off, and it doesn't matter what critics say, and it so doesn't matter that I'm going to make a whole song that is addressing them and telling them that it doesn't matter. Like, it feels a little bit like The Lady Doth Protest Too Much. That said, I do think this feels like a really honest reflection, even if I don't think it is the deepest reflection, because I've watched a lot of people in my own life that grew up religious and at a certain point decided that they valued sex more than they felt that their religious upbringing did, and it was an important part of who they are and their experience, and they're going to lean into it, and they're not going to feel bad about it, and I just have seen a lot of people that agree, essentially, with this message and a stepping away or a distancing of themselves from the religion of their upbringing. And so I do think this seems like a pretty honest and maybe relatable for a lot of people song, but it's so brooding, and I do think it's pretty muddled, and there's just this line about how I want the Holy Spirit, and I guess you're left to wonder, is he deifying this girl? It's kind of confusing, and it does feel like it's kind of rejecting a moral code with words like small town repression, even as it is suggesting a different moral code at the same time. And so to me it just feels a little muddled, and like it doesn't quite know what it thinks as much as it suggests it does. Like, to me, Body Like a Back Road feels like a lot more of a carefree, I wasn't sinning with you song than this does. Then we've got This Bar by Morgan Wallen.
I found myself in this bar, making mistakes.
Now, I'm not sure if this is a single because Morgan Wallen is still working his song Chasing You, which is at radio now, but he dropped this song on New Year's. It was written with a lot of his kind of common collaborators, and these guys know how to write a hook. This song is really hooky, it's really appealing. It is a song about a bar that he's had a lot of good memories in and that has made him the man he is today, and it's kind of connecting his soul with this place and how that place helped shape him. And whether it's a song like The House That Built Me, or even a little bit a song like Give Me Back My Hometown by Eric Church, that is a feeling that is really resonant and I think always works in songs. But I only think this song is okay because I feel like it's missing some of the specificity and little details that make a place special. This just feels really, really broad. It kind of gives me shades of that song This City by Patrick Stump.
This city is my city.
Where he just loves this city, whatever city it is that he's talking about, and it kind of doesn't have teeth because of that. Even a song like Toby Keith's I Love This Bar has just some fun words in it, like thirsty hitchhikers and hookers, and there's just these little, it paints a picture for you. And this is more just kind of about the vibe of feeling nostalgic of your best years at the bar. And I do think Morgan Wallen is definitely creating a very effective vibe. I have so much trouble articulating how I would kind of encapsulate the sound of whiskey glasses and Chasing You and now this bar.
Learn how to live with a broken heart.
Because it feels sort of laid back and sort of intense at the same time. Like, kind of there's this like kick drum thing going on in this song that gives it some intensity, a little bit of torchiness, but then it's kind of drones on as well, but it's appealing. It's interesting. There's like a fat layer of just sort of ambient sound in his songs, and I like it. I like it, but it's weird. It's his thing. So overall, I just think it's okay. I don't think it's bad at all, but I don't think it's great by any means, and I want to see what Morgan Wallen has up his sleeve, especially after Cover Me Up. And I have a whole long video on him on this channel if you want to find out more of my thoughts. Midland announced that they are releasing Cheating songs as a single.
She's bringing back cheating songs.
I'm excited about this single choice because I feel like Cheatin' Songs captures the vibe of Let It Roll a little bit better than Mr. Lonely did. Cheatin' Songs has that sort of fun, high finish gloss, but sleazy, but romantic, kind of woozy vibe about it that I think make the record really, really strong. The Zac Brown Band also announced their new single called Leaving Love Behind.
But the hardest part is leaving love behind.
On a very not good album, which was The Owl, Leaving Love Behind is a really gorgeous song, a piano ballad where Zac Brown is singing about moving on from a relationship and having trouble leaving it in the past. I really believe him on this vocal. I mean, it makes sense, having gone through a big divorce, and I think he delivers it with gusto and sadness. I hope it works for them. I don't know if they have much credibility left with radio. We will see, but this is a really pretty song, and I feel like it kind of had to be the single choice. I don't know what else they could have done. So we'll see how it goes for them. If it doesn't work, maybe they should release OMW. Hey, it's been a couple days since I shot the original part of this video. I've heard a few more songs that I just want to add in here. The first one that I really want to talk about is Brandy Clark's Who You Thought I Was.
I wanna be at least almost close to worth your love.
If you're unfamiliar with Brandy Clark, she's one of the finest songwriters in all of Nashville. Some of her mainstream cuts are Better Dig 2, Follow Your Arrow. She had her own breakout album a few years ago called 12 Stories, which is just a tight, amazing album. But now she's getting ready for a new one, and she's got this first single called Who You Thought I Was that is really a cool song. I can't quite put my finger on what that sound I'm hearing in this song is. I can't tell if it's just guitar picking way high up on the fretboard, or if I'm hearing a dulcimer or a harpsichord. It almost sounds like a harpsichord to me, but it's got this kind of sprightly energy to it. But then the song is somewhat somber but hopeful at the same time. It's about being out of a relationship and wanting to become the person that your ex thought you were. You know, they saw this potential in you, and you weren't that. You weren't your best self, and now you're looking back on this relationship, realizing how highly they thought of you, and wanting to be that person. I want to be who you thought I was. That's an interesting concept. One that I can't say I can think of many songs that I have heard that feel positive in the same way that this does. So I think it's really cool. I love the little switch up in the sound of it when she starts talking about the circus. And I feel like it sounds a lot more Western when she talks about wanting to be a cowboy. It's just a cool song. Everything Brandy Clark does is quality, and I'm happy to have her back. I also heard Tim McGraw's new single, Way Down.
Way down, way down, way down, way down, way down, way down, way down.
This song features a guy named Shy Carter, who's a producer of songs like One Call Away by Charlie Puth, the country classic Stuck Like Glue by Sugarland. He's collaborated with Keith Urban, and lately he's been making inroads as a performer as well. And I don't know, look, Tim McGraw loves to choose horrible lead singles for his projects, and this song is just not that good. It doesn't really mean anything. It's just listing lots of places in the South and then saying, way down, way down, way down we go, like thousands of times. Way down, way down, way down we go. Way down, way down, way down we go. And then Shy Carter adds in some little ad-libs that don't add a ton to it. It does sound swampy. It does feel kind of fun. It's clearly trying to press into this country hip-hop fusion moment we're having. And Tim McGraw's, to his credit, that's not like a new thing for him. He's done this many times before. But I feel like there is nothing wrong with genre lines blurring so long as substance remains. And this song is not substantive. It's just stupid. Tim McGraw makes bizarre single choices. I mean, I'm thinking of Looking for That Girl. I'm thinking of Truck Yeah. What's the one that just didn't work earlier this year? Whatever the one was, Neon Church. He's making some strange choices. And then every once in a while he comes out with something like Meanwhile Back at Mama's or Humble and Kind. And you're like, Tim, you're so amazing. Why do you do things like this? And the last song I want to talk about is called Somebody Like That by a girl named Tenille Arts. Tenille Arts, for 2 years in a row now, has performed on The Bachelor, and I don't know how it happened that a country artist singing on a date on The Bachelor became a thing, but at some point it became a thing. I mean, Brett Young has sung on there, Russell Dickerson sang on there, and that is what Tenille Arts has now done 2 years in a row. And this year she sang this song called Somebody Like That, which just feels much like The Bachelor basic. The song's about looking for love, being open to love, and there's nothing that you can really begrudge that much in the lyrics, but it just feels like this pop star light, kind of like Kelsey Ballerini-ish blah pop thing. The video, to me, really made it seem like it was leaning into its Bachelor association, given that there's a bride and a groom and this guy, and I don't know, just all felt a little, it had a sheen on it to me, and that makes me sad. Hey, it's me again. I wanted to add something into this little review of Tenille Arts, because I listened to her new album, Love, Heartbreak, and Everything in Between over the weekend, and I think I was really kind of had Tenille wrong. Or at least somewhat wrong. Probably one of my least favorite songs in the album is the one I just talked about, Something Like That. That does feel a lot more, I don't know, juvenile, little girlish, and just like escapist and too pop for me. But that album's like a really good version of pop country. I really, really liked it overall. There's a couple songs at the end that felt sort of stupid to me, but on the whole, I thought that was quality pop country. Like, if only everything mainstream sounded like this. The kind of like cadence, or not cadence, the sort of flow of I Hate This I thought was really cool. There's a song called something like Slow It Down on the record that I really enjoyed. I liked the theme of it, how we started with love songs, then we went to heartbreak songs, and then everything in between, some kind of more fun songs. And I just think she's smart, and her voice sounds really good, and I think she has good lyrics, and I just thought overall it was quality. Not my favorite thing in the world, but way better than I was anticipating, and I'd be remiss to not say that here. So that's it. Those are my thoughts on a bunch of new songs, and I feel good, especially now that I've done this twice. I feel like I can get on with 2020 now that I've kind of gotten caught up, and I have a bunch of ideas, and hoping to get into some routine here on the channel. I just did a big update in my last video if you kind of want to get to know me a little bit better, which you probably don't. But that's it. Share this, like this, or do whatever it is that you want to do. Leave me a comment down below. I always read them, even if I can't always respond to them. And yeah, that's it, guys. Bye.